CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I'm Lauren Pastrana and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. Dramatic video in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Flames consume a home in the city of South Pasadena, just outside of St. Petersburg, as crews conduct water rescues. Now to Citrus County, where people are finding other ways of getting around after Helene left streets swamped. And the storm has been blamed for at least 17 deaths, including at least 11 people in Georgia. The state's governor said dozens are still trapped in homes damaged by Helene. As you can see, some streets look more like rivers in Atlanta. Now, Tropical Storm Helene is spinning through the southeast and Midwest, causing flash flood emergencies in some areas. CBS News Miami's Tom Hansen has the latest from Tallahassee.
A giant tree into an apartment building in Tallahassee and boats in the front yards in Treasure Island. Daylight revealed scenes of utter destruction along Florida's Gulf Coast.
The early reports we've received is that the damage in those counties that were really in the eye of the storm has exceeded the damage of Idalia and Debbie combined.
Helene is the third hurricane to hit the Big Bend region in the last 13 months. It came ashore as a Category 4 storm with winds up to 140 miles an hour and storm surge up to 20 feet. Its outer bands nearly swallowed up these cars driving along a bridge in Tampa. Authorities there say a falling highway sign hit a car, killing the driver.
Anybody in your house?
This rescue team in the city of South Pasadena called out for people after several homes caught fire. Florida's governor says emergency crews conducted thousands of rescue missions overnight. Rescues were also underway in rain-soaked Georgia. Crews in Atlanta helped bring a couple, their baby, and 2 dogs to safety.
With this one, the vehicle was traveling in through the water, and the vehicle started to float, and it floated off the roadway. They were able to get out of the vehicle and get on top of the vehicle.
Helene's high winds also knocked out power to an estimated 3 million customers all across the southeast. Farther north in the Carolinas, Helene is causing life-threatening flooding, especially in mountainous areas. Forecasters expect the large system will continue to weaken through the day. Tom Hansen, CBS News, Tallahassee, Florida.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
Afternoon cooling some of us off after heat advisories return. You can see in that live look, half of the screen, you can see the rain coming down. Next Weather Chief Meteorologist and Hurricane Specialist Ivan Cabrera joins us now with the weekend forecast.
Yeah, and thankfully we're getting those showers because it has been a brutal day as far as temperatures. We're right back into it, 105 to 110. We've seen numbers as high as 107 so far. Still very hot in the Keys, into the 100s, but you see those little pockets of lighter reds there. That's indicating, of course, the lower temperatures because of those showers that we just showed you there on our weather cam. They're moving rather quickly, so they'll be out of here in just a couple of minutes, right along 95, right on the beach at this point here, east of 95, and that little cluster continues to move east. Not severe and nothing too significant as far as the accumulation because it's just moving so quickly. Not much going on across the rest of Broward, and then we have this little cluster that's now moving in along the western end of the turnpike here, and that will be pushing into places like Doral and heading up towards Miami Lakes and Hialeah over the next couple of hours here. So if you are doing anything later on this evening, after work, after the commute, I think we'll be drying out. For now, we'll leave those light rain chances on tap there with temperatures in the 80s, dropping down into the 80s. We're right back into the heat for both Saturday and Sunday. We've got some dry air that's going to be coming in, and that is going to do a couple of things. It's going to almost shut off our rain chances. I don't think we'll see much here, 20% at best for both Saturday and Sunday. So it's going to be a dry weekend, but also very hot. That's going to allow temperatures to get into the lower 90s. This time of year, now we're getting into October next week, it's not that difficult to break high temperatures when you start looking at anything north of 90 degrees, and that 93 is going to get close to the record temperature. Of course, Helene is still causing problems, the remnants of it anyway, as far as very heavy rainfall and flooding across portions of the Tennessee Valley and even out towards the East Coast. So what's up next? This is the area we're going to be watching closely the next few days. It's got a 30% chance of development. The model's still, as usual, struggling with it because it's so early in the game. We don't have anything that's developed, but once it does, this will likely head into the Gulf of Mexico. And I know that sounds like what happened with our recent storm here, Helene, but it's something we'll be watching closely because it's so close to home. Everything else is nothing to worry about. Isaac is a hurricane heading off to the north and east. Joyce, by the way, formed, so that's a tropical storm, but that's going to be going up to the north. And then the last system I'm monitoring, also that is not going to be an issue. There's Joyce here. We're talking about this tropical wave south of Cabo Verde that will likely has a low chance of developing, but even if it does, that's going to be booking up to the North Atlantic as well. So it's that one feature that has not developed yet in the Caribbean. We'll be closely watching. So rain chances low, a hot weekend. Fins on CBS Miami for the big game there on Monday. It's going to be dry if you're going to be heading out, and otherwise we'll see rain chances creeping up a little bit by next week.
Ivan, thank you. We're learning more about an early morning fire we brought to you as breaking news earlier today. Flames engulfed a Brownsville home, leaving 2 people dead. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner breaks down what happened.
At one point Friday morning, police actually did remove this crime scene tape, and we were able to get a closer look at the home, talk to neighbors, talk to those inside of the house. But what I can tell you right this moment is that this was a deadly fire, claiming the lives of 2 people. Flames ripped through this Brownsville home on the 1900 block of Northwest 53rd Street early Friday morning.
It's so hard to even tell because it's a great neighborhood. It's quiet. You don't even hear gunshots around here.
Miami-Dade police said fire rescue transported a man and a woman to Ryder Trauma, where they died.
All I could say is God be with them, and I hope they, I don't know what to say.
For hours, Miami-Dade police homicide and arson units spent time searching the home, even bringing in a canine to sniff the house and surrounding area. The official cause of the fire is still under investigation, but I can tell you based off of what those inside of the home at the time are telling us, based off of the fact that the homicide and arson units were here, that this is not your typical house fire. For now, in Miami-Dade, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
2 people have been arrested following a late-night crash and shooting. Antonio Vance and an underage suspect are now in custody. Police tell us this all started when detectives tried to make a traffic stop. The car took off and crashed into an innocent driver in the area of 38th Avenue and Northwest 161st Street in Miami Gardens. The suspect tried to get away but was quickly arrested. At the same time, the innocent driver opened fire on one of the armed suspects in the car that had taken off. That person is stable at Aventura Hospital. In Fort Lauderdale Beach, 14 residents are waiting to hear whether they will be forced out of their homes. It's happening right now at Springbrook Gardens condo on Fort Lauderdale Beach. Work has been going on to shore up the foundation, but an engineer said it's an unsafe building in danger of collapse. Residents were told to be out by today, but the condo board president says he's hired new engineers who say the building is not about to crumble.
This is a fixable situation. Right now, those 2 engineers are on their way to the city with emergency shoring plans, a change of engineer form, which I'm going to sign, and hopefully the city will accept that. And by Monday or Tuesday, we'll be able to come back in the building and safely reside.
We'll have more reaction from residents tonight on CBS News Miami at 5. And now to New York. Mayor Eric Adams arrived at federal court for his arraignment on bribery and fraud charges. He's accused of accepting $100,000 in illegal gifts in exchange for using his influence to help Turkey. Adams has denied wrongdoing and said he does not plan to resign. If convicted, he could face up to 45 years in prison. When we come back, 39 days before the election, and former President Trump is meeting with Ukraine's president, what the 2 leaders discussed. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. We are back with some sad news from Hollywood. Legendary actress Dame Maggie Smith has died. The 2-time Oscar-winning actor is best known for her roles in Harry Potter and Downton Abbey. She was one of Britain's biggest actresses. Her family says she died today in a London hospital. Maggie Smith was 89 years old. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky met with former President Donald Trump this morning, a day after visiting the White House. The visit comes 39 days before Election Day, and both candidates are in key battleground states today. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand has more details from Washington.
In his latest trip to the United States, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky met with both presidential candidates stopping by Trump Tower Friday morning.
After November, we have to decide, and we hope that the strength of the United States will be very strong, and we count on it. That's why I decided to meet with both candidates.
Former President Donald Trump has been critical of the war, suggesting this week that Ukraine should have given up some of its territory to Russia to end the more than 2.5-year conflict.
We have a very good relationship, and I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly.
Thursday, standing side by side with Zelensky, Vice President Harris criticized those comments.
These proposals are the same of those of Putin. And let us be clear, they are not proposals for peace. Instead, they are proposals for surrender.
This afternoon, Harris heads to the U.S.-Mexico border in Arizona for her first visit in 3 years, where she plans to call for tougher border security. She has vowed to sign a bipartisan bill that fell apart earlier this year after Trump opposed it.
Donald Trump got word of the bill, realized it was going to fix a problem he wanted to run on, and told him to kill the bill, don't put it up for a vote.
Trump has hammered the vice president for record crossings under the Biden administration last year.
She's done a horrible job, and she'll be out there tomorrow standing probably in front of the wall that I built, trying to say what a wonderful job she did.
The GOP nominee is campaigning in Michigan today with a focus on the economy. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Neither vice presidential nominee has any campaign events as they prepare for Tuesday night's debate, which will be broadcast by CBS News and moderated by evening news anchor Nora O'Donnell and Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan. And that's the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS Miami.